Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the market radar going out for the next 5 years. That's right. Normally I do a market radar for the upcoming week, and you know what? We'll talk about the upcoming week, but this more goes out for, on a big picture here because, I think we're really going through a very bullish phase in the market right now, and it's just beginning, and it's so hard to really, kind of shake the bad. Especially if you've been involved in the markets and have been trading the markets, it stays the 2012 pullback, the 2008 pullback, of course the 2000 tech bubble. If you were part of that, all lingers out there and saying, "Oh, one day that's going to happen again," and it keeps you out of the picture most of the time, or makes maybe you don't even trade or invest your money anymore. You just don't feel comfortable doing it. But we have to always look back that these events. They're going to happen, and but that's not going to be the norm, and we can't, you can't really go through life living, expecting the worst. And when you look at a big picture, especially in the markets, and I'm going to start off because we deal with, I deal with, the people that I trade with, we deal on a short time frame. It's just each day we're watching a market. We can make plays out of a chart that's just based on minutes. And we could see the same type of patterns that play out on the minutes, that play on the 5 minute, that play on the 60 minute, play on the hour. Well, that's the 60, the daily, the weekly, the monthly. All these give us these signals, and especially our divergent signals. We know, when the good times to buy, and good times to sell. And there's just a couple of things that you have to, really add to the formula. You can have your great methodology and stuff, but you also have to add a little trader intuition and understand where the markets are going. You don't try to take a sell signal in a very bullish trending market. You wait for the market to kind of give you a range bound trade, be it in a channel or a sideways horizontal channel or a downward channel or an upward channel, something where we have a range bound move. When we start to get a bullish breakout or a breakout of a range-bound move, it's very hard to call the top on that until you get that first pullback and the bounce and the failure. So you have to start to put these pivots in. And when those pivots start to work, then you actually start to understand how the market works. And you could buy the momentum shift here as a big divergence. And you could get in at the great times of the stock price. It doesn't matter when it is. You'll see these patterns play out time and time again. It's just if you're there when it happens, you have a much bigger opportunity in the markets. And that's why, I stress that people need to be involved in the markets just on that fact. Even if you're not an active trader, there is great times to be, great companies to be invested in, great times to be invested in. And over the last couple of weeks, months, it's been great. And you could say, the argument could say is, the market's been great. Yeah, but you know what? We've been in the right stocks. The market hasn't been great for all the stocks. We've been in the right stocks, but the biggest thing is we're not fighting this move. We're expecting this move, or at least I was expecting it to move higher. And I do expect it to move higher on this, and that was kind of the theme of this market radar, because I can't predict what's going to happen on Monday. I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend with news that's going to affect the thing. But I do know when there is something out there and we could kind of wrap our minds around and understand what it is, we could gauge and weigh that against our market positions and understand if that is an event that can move the markets and change what's going on right now. And we have to also consider what's been going on in the world, and has the market changed? No. If you would have thought that the market would continue to make new highs, just making highs on the events of the Brexit, the increased tension around the world and terrorism, or not to even say our political, presidential election, and the division, and all this, yet the market continues to push higher, and so it's very easy for you to go out there and say, yeah, this is all going to come crashing down. But you know what? Those people had those arguments, last year and the year before and the year before, and now they're going to continue to say that. But let's take a look at the big picture, and let's take a look at maybe what history is, but what our future is. It's not about history; it's about future. People are looking into the past, and they don't realize that our curve our acceleration curve on technology and everything is just going straight up in the air. I mean, we might not even be able to measure it straight up in the air because it's at such a small pace right now. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to continue the curve higher. Things are going to speed up. Companies are going to get bigger. Mega corporations are going to get bigger. It's just the way things are going to happen. Yahoo will be the first $1 trillion company. And if you know that and believe that, the only reason I would not believe that is if you thought there was an upcoming Armageddon, or something towards that effect, because it's obvious, what's coming down the line. I mean, virtual reality, self-driving automated cars, robots, autonomous vehicles, drones. You just think about what's in the news and what's going on. Yeah, that's all new technology. Satellites, everything, bandwidth, Pokemon Go. This is a crazy world we live in, and there's going to be a lot more opportunity to make money. So you have to surround yourself with these companies. They're going to grow. Just because you get a pullback, maybe a 6-month pullback because something happens in the world, doesn't mean that nothing's going to change. We're not going back to the caveman times. So here's an example. Here's Google, and Google actually here consolidated, and you're like, well, I can't do much with Google. It's $700 stock. I don't know what you could do with it. I don't know what your situation is. There's different ways to to surround yourself with Google. You could even get an ETF that a basket of stocks that contain Google and other things. That's what I would do. Use some of the options that are available to you, literally, and take these positions out and know that you're going to hold on to them. Because as we go to the weekly, what do we see here? We see this gradual company just kind of just growing and growing and actually going fast. And when we see a pullback, it eventually moves higher. The pullback eventually moves higher. So even on Google right now, looking at that weekly chart, it actually looks quite bullish right here. The monthly stochastic momentum indicator is telling us that we're pushing up for the next phase. A monthly candle represents, the whole month, 30 days, or how many trading days it really represents. Excuse me. So a breakout of this or a full rotation can be many months and many moons to go. It's just inside that, that daily's going to make the move. We're going to get a rotation. We're going to pull back, and then we're going to take off. So, this is where we concentrate on the top, the bottom. The indicators are lining up, or what we call the multiple indicator setups. When we have that recognizable pattern, but we have a divergence in it, and we're looking for that move, and we know where we're going to get out of our stock, where we're going to get in our stock. But the big picture right now, and again, the market radar going out for the next couple years. I mean, just think about it. Here's your monthly. So here's your monthly back from Google when Google was an IPO, and now $700. Look at this. But the consolidations continue to be bought. Look at this consolidation, a big pop, and this feels really good right now. I mean, this is on the monthly, and it looks like we're about to break out. It's just, this is the way of things going. This is not 1985. This is 2016 going to 2017, going to 2020, 2020. It's like Buck Rogers, SpaceX. These companies are going to be leading that. It's important to realize that. So it's hard to, even to get back on the S&P here, and to say, all right, well, what does that mean for the S&P? Well, eventually, they're going to, how they like to shuffle up the S&P. They take out the losing stocks, get rid of the Alcoas of the world, put in the Googles and the Apples until they don't perform, and then pretty soon, you're going to find this is going to continue to go because they're going to want those winning stocks in the overall averages. So, there's a good group of stocks out there that are going to continue to make money just because of how society is going, But let's just take a look at the S&P 500. And again, you go out all the way to the tech bubble. Yeah, that sucked. That really did. I was part of that. I barely survived. But it was something we never went through before, at least where I started trading in 96. It was all this nice, oh, this is great. This is easy. This is easy peasy. I should have been doing this instead of working at the, it's just about that. And then you get hit with something that you start to get into it. 2008, then you get hit with that. But at this point, not, and having the flash crash and stuff, it's crazy. You all of a sudden you are a deer in the headlights. It's a hard thing to do. And we're not going to be able to predict what that's going to be. If you think it's going to come, you want to trade waiting for it. Yeah, I think it's a losing game. I think the opportunities right now is to, really concentrate on your monthly and weekly charts. Really, your weeklies. If you want to take that trade, make sure your weeklies going higher. This is more of those long-term position traders. You want to put your money to work. Because if you look at it, and just look at the way things are going, here's the market, pullback, nice run for 1, 2, 3, how many years? Pullback, nice run here. What if this pullback is as far as you're going to get? We're going to get a nice run, and we're going to get another small pullback, and we're going to have a nice run. And a year from now, we're going to be 3,200. And people are going to say, how do we go that far? Because everything's in perspective here. This doesn't look, this looks impressive until it really goes up, and then this looks like it was a little anthill. And that's where we're heading. I mean, you could see we're starting to head up. It's going to be at a steeper pace because that's the way the world is going. And that's the monthly, and that's the weekly, and now we're at the daily. And then people, and again, I got a couple of emails saying, are you taking any hedges into next week? And it's like, I play that game every so often, but, it's much better to be on this game right here, until it proves it to me. Because I just know, I feel this could be the beginning of something really big, and it could just be a process of fighting and trying to find that top. But no, so I'm not short, and I wasn't even really considering. I did consider for a split second on Friday, and then I said, you know what, I'm not going to get into this, And then for those out there, going into this week, Verizon and Yahoo are set to announce an exclusive $5 billion deal. So I don't even know what that does to the stock. So good luck on that. I'm holding some calls on that, and our best bet is out for the watch list and stuff. But going out to a market radar for this week, upcoming week, it's the same old, same old. We're overdue for that 60-minute rotation. Remember we said the other day, we're due for a 60-minute rotation. We got that 60-minute rotation, but what I pointed out was how fast we rotated back and got oversold in one day. Basically one day. The next day we took off and we rotated right back up. It's worth keeping an eye on. If you are going to take a trade, either to the downside or to a hedge or stuff, it's best to have this starting to rotate back down. At least you have momentum on your side. It hasn't proven that yet. We don't know if we're going to, this could go embedded. We could embed and really drive higher like it did over here. But I can tell you that daily is also up there. We haven't had a pullback. But again, we've seen moves like this, very bullish moves. And if we're in a process of breaking out, we broke out of this channel, we broke out to new highs. This is, this could add to itself very easily. There's, blue skies above. So there's no reason right now for me to take a look at a short here, unless I'm just kind of gambling. You go into the casino and you lay down something just to hope it hits. But I prefer to, find these really quality names, trying to micro, understand the overall direction. Yeah. Google now inside that bigger weekly pattern, will I be able to get my best position before it starts to pull back on the next week? I mean, the overall weekly, but I don't want to be in holding this. I want to be able to get in here, and get 3 big days out of it. I don't want to chop around for 2 to 3 days. So are we chopping around? Are we about to make a breakout? Yeah, I think we're going to go higher in Google. Google's, think about it. Again, $1 trillion company right around the corner. Mega corporations. It's true. All right. Well, I hope you gained something from that video. As you can tell, I'm slightly bullish on the long term. And I feel like our weekly here is just starting to break out. And I think we're breaking out right now. And we could actually see another significant rally. I don't want to go so far as saying a mega cycle higher, but I hope to be the one telling you I told you so. Christmas, as we're at 2,600 or something like that. All right, I'll see you in the markets on Monday.